Good morning or afternoon, gamers. Before I start, I feel like I have to say that these are opinion pieces. I'm only expressing how the majority of the casuals, yes, let me repeat that, the casuals in the community feel about these heroes. That being said, let's actually start the video. See, very little heroes in the game actually have dedicated nicknames. We have Zerk with the Unga Bunga hero, we have Griffin with the monkey, because 60% of the people that play Griffin really just aren't the smartest, and Hito's heavy on red. But none of them stand as massive and historical as Roach. See, Orochi has always been called Roach since the dawn of fucking man. The thing is that people only called him that before his rework because of his actual name. Most of the time people just use Roach as an abbreviation or short term to say Orochi. There's a Roach on A. I just killed the Roach. People would say this no matter what the situation was. Nowadays, people call him Roach because he is extremely hard to kill, can get away from you pretty fast, and just an overall annoyance. But he hasn't really always been like this. See, back when Orochi was probably the second worst hero in the game behind PK will always be the worst hero in the game for many reasons, but old Orochi had so many issues that he struggled with almost everything. Looking at him now, sure, it's the exact opposite, and Orochi fundamentally hasn't changed very much. More or less, he was just enhanced. Old Orochi truly did struggle with opening people up, and yeah, it sounds weird to hear today with his tools he has now, but yeah, Orochi didn't have a bash when he started. Decently slow lights, and Storm Rush was only a back dodge with no undodgeable traits. Sure, in the low reps, his light spam was what kept him on top of others, but complementing light spam and low reps is like giving monkeys awards for breathing. Most games of Orochi would just kind of come down to either attempting to light spam someone to death, and if that didn't work, just play super defensively. Old Orochi really was just a relic of how far we've come today, but you know, people didn't play Orochi because he was an easy pub stomp character like he is now, but because he had flair with things like his deflect. There really is only one face of Orochi, a man that dedicated his life playing him in the most stylish way possible, and yes, I am talking about Nova King. He was basically the face of Orochi back then and still is now with his deflect montages. It definitely inspired many people to pick him up and really try him out. See, there was a really funny little quirk with Orochi's deflect where he was actually the only hero to have two deflect inputs that did two different things. See, the first one is more akin to what we have today, being just a quick light attack input that puts him in the offense. But his old deflect didn't break hyper armor like it did today. See, only true Orochi mains remember deflecting someone with hyper armor and then inputting a heavy attack to not only give themselves hyper armor, but break theirs. The trade-off was that it was super slow, needed time to charge, and was dodgeable, making it the only deflect in the game to not have an actual confirmed punish. But the kicker was that it could be feinted, and any person trying to make a cool Orochi clip montage on YouTube would fish for deflects, input heavy attack on one, and then feint a guard break on the now spooked opponent trying to get away from that massive damage he was going to do to him. Around September 16th of 2021, years of Orochi main struggles was finally lifted off their shoulders. He was finally reworked, and man oh man did this impact the Forerunner scene hard. From what went from the worst assassin to the game to one of the best heroes in the game, Orochi climbed the ladder from D tier all the way to S tier in one patch. He was given the first 500 MS bash to guarantee a light, they moved his Storm Rush to a forward dodge input to make it more useful, and on top of that gave it undodgeable properties on all sides. They gave it an unblockable finisher on top, better dodge cancels. Basically, to sum it up, Orochi didn't just get a facelift, he got a BBL to go with it. Sadly, as Orochis did rejoice in all this, they realized that Ubisoft, after buffing him, stripped away the thing they loved the most, the fun aspect of him, which was his heavy deflect. This gave his deflect the property to break hyper armor, but yeah, Orochi players just weren't too happy with Ubisoft taking away their clip machine. The other thing Orochi mains did hate after that was the fact that almost anyone, and I mean anyone, could now just pick up Orochi and got double-digit kills. If I went blind in one eye, lost 3 fingers, I still think I could beat someone in a best of 3 if I picked Orochi for one round. If there's one thing Ubisoft is known to do is take a skill character that the community adores and turn them into the most brain-dead, I-hit-the-buttons, I-pub-stomp heroes. Centurion's rework, Orochi's rework, now even Highlander's rework. All these characters took some semblance of skill at their lowest state, and then Ubisoft decided to overbuff the shit out of them. I doubt any Rep 70 Orochi feels good when a bum like me picks up the hero with the sole purpose of, I just want an easy win. No, seriously, if I'm playing casual Dominion lobbies, and I just want to win, let's say to shut up a toxic person, I'm locking in Orochi and having fun. See, what makes him a pub stomper, you might be asking? Well, it's really a combination of, I'd say, 4 things. Obviously, his bash, his kick Storm Rush, and dodge attack cancels. Let's start off with the smallest bunch and talk about his kick to Storm Rush mix-up. See, if you ask, let's say, 70% of the PC community if they can deal with Storm Rush consistently, they would just say yes. But the thing is that the PC community is just a small minority of the community compared to the titan that is the console community. To really think about why console players have a hard time with Storm Rush, let's just go into their shoes for a second. These guys have their console and their TV connected probably 6 feet away from their face on nothing higher than 60 Hz. So when they have to make a 600 ms decision that's far away from them and most likely with some input delay from the lag of the TV screen, it's really no surprise that Storm Rush is just near unblockable at sometimes. So before you bully someone for not being able to Storm Rush, just put yourself in their shoes. See, no, my gripe with Orochi's Bash Storm Rush mix-up is the fact that he can do a light attack or heavy attack after missing a bash. See, I've already made the right guess if he's going to bash me. Now I gotta make another right read if he's going to A, throw a light, B, throw a heavy, or C, throw a heavy, and then feint it. I mean, you could just dodge attack it and not make any read, but hey, look, let me be mad at something, okay? See, there has been many times where my opponent did make the right read that I was going to bash, but instead of throwing a light, I threw a heavy. And you know what happened? Womp womp, they took 30 damage. But now we gotta talk about why everyone really hates fighting Orochi, and that is definitely his dodge attacks and his dodge cancels. There's nothing more frustrating than an Orochi who really realizes how to capitalize on dodge attacks and dodge attack target swap. This is the sole purpose why Roach is such a fitting name for Orochi. You just can't hit him if the Orochi can realize how to capitalize on dodge cancels and target swapping. First, the hitbox of his dodge attack is just the size of a fucking World Trade Center. Second is his iframes on dodge attack are absolutely mental. Pairing this with deflex, it can turn characters with undodgeables into obsolete pieces of garbage. It's come to the point where I am only picking heroes with undodgeables anymore because of the current meta of dodge recoveries. You just need to actually have one or you just won't be able to hit someone. His damage is also kind of called into question on why people really do dislike Orochi. Honestly, I'm a half and half on it. I truly do believe the only thing that needs to be tweaked are his side heavy and top heavy finisher damage. I mean, it's just a little too high, seeing as half of his kit or even all of his kit is still really viable. Orochi's problem really do stem farther than his kit though. See, his feats are almost all annoying. I say almost because most of the recent Ki nerfs, his feats are just still annoying as fuck. Let's start with what I think is the most hated feat in the game, and that is definitely Kunai. 30-second cooldown throwable that does 15 damage and always guarantees a zone attack if the Orochi is close enough to you. It's not always enough that it's a throwable that can be spammed every fight, but there's just nothing more enraging than getting hit by this 2 times in a row, because what the fuck, 30-second cooldown. There's nothing people hate more than this game is off-screen throwables, and oh boy does he continue that trend with longer. 50 damage off-screen projectile. Anytime an Orochi has longbow up and you're below 50 health, and expect an arrow up your ass where the sun just doesn't fucking shine. Orochi is truly what I would explain a guilty pleasure for me, or just an I want to win and not have to try hero when it comes to casual flanner. Even in friend or foe, I played Orochi as my secondary hero, and I wasn't alone because a lot of teams had specific reasons for him, and that was Storm Rush ganks. See, Orochi Storm Rush is a medium or heavy hit stun, I don't remember the name, allowing your teammates to sneak in a quick heavy attack. I don't have to explain why free damage and confirmed ganks are annoying, so I'm not going to. The point is that if you were ever hit by Storm Rush gank, you did not say nice things to the enemy team after. Sadly, many people who do main Orochi catch a lot of hate for their hero, and he really is fun, and I can tell why you play him. But look, I'd be saying that I'd be lying if Orochi mains, even me myself, earned my wins when I was playing Orochi. As I said, I hope you guys always have a fantastic rest of your day.